Hi, this is Richard Jefferson from the Metal Law Group out in Los Angeles, California. And this is the second in my series on film and television projects. This one's on acquiring rights, so actually it could apply to any kind of entertainment project. Maybe a mobile app, something digital, because you have to acquire the rights first before you can develop a project. First, before I jump into it, let me do my disclaimer. I'm not your attorney. I am not giving legal advice. I'm just giving you some information that you can use with your attorney to kind of determine how to best move forward on your project. So there are three ways that you can acquire property rights. The first way is just to purchase an existing property, and that means you can purchase an existing original screenplay, maybe rights to a video game, a cartoon, rights to a mobile app, magazine, book. Anything that's existing already, maybe you can purchase the rights to develop a TV or film project. The second way is that you could hire somebody to create your project, your underlying property. You could commission a screenwriter. You could hire a software developer who creates video games. With that, basically you're dealing with the issues of them being an independent contractor versus an employee. So you want to make sure that your contract is intact, so that you own the rights. They don't own the rights, because with copyright, whoever creates something creative actually owns it upon creation. And the third way is to just write it yourself. That way all you have to do is worry about registration, protecting yourself, register the copyright, if it's a catchy name, do a trademark, anything that you need to do to protect your underlying property right. Some of the common issues that may exist, especially with existing properties, trying to figure out market value is sometimes tricky, because how do you know what a property is worth? A lot of times you may do the analysis very similar to real estate. You'll do comparables and try to figure out the going rate for the property, but it depends on the leverage, and market value is really just about what somebody's going to pay for something. Another problem with existing properties is trying to figure out what limitations you might have. Like, say you're purchasing a mobile app, and you develop a project. You're not going to get rights to the mobile app. So you may be limiting yourself on a stream of income, but as long as you know beforehand and it's still worth it, then that's fine. You just shouldn't be blindsided by things like that. And as far as hiring a screenwriter, there might be an issue of whether they're a WGA writer, where you'll be bound by certain collective bargaining restrictions, or maybe you go out and just hire a new writer who can actually be a little more freer, and you just do a contract with them. So those are some issues. And compensation is always an issue to discuss, and that comes up with both commission writers as well as existing property owners. You can structure the deal to hopefully not pay as much up front. A lot of times people try to figure out ways to avoid that big upfront fee. I mean, the big upfront fee is like a fixed fee, so if you just have the funds and you just want to buy it outright, you pay them a fixed fee. If maybe you want to do some kind of structure where people get a bonus when your project actually gets picked up by a distributor or a studio, then you can maybe have a smaller upfront fee and get a bonus fee. Another way would be a deferred compensation, where you may not pay them their market rate, but you will pay the difference once you get a deal. There's also contingent compensation, which is like back end. Basically, you're sharing on the points, the net profits of the project once it's developed and it's been released. And there's additional compensation. That's another one that can be pretty big, because if you're developing a project and it turns into a series where there's a sequel or a prequel or anything else additional that spins off, then the original property owner, is going to want to share in that income. So those are just some of the issues that come up. Another one is life rights. That's a video in all in itself, but if you're dealing with someone's life in a documentary or a story based on someone's life, then you need to acquire the proper rights from that person who has a life, basically. So those are just a few tips. Again, I'm not your attorney. This is not legal advice, but I just wanted to kind of give you some information that you can use to help you move forward.